All right. Thank you for joining me. I wanted to go over the features of the ATR forecaster indicator. And here we go. We've got it on a 5-minute Russell chart. Now, today was kind of a sleepy day, but what the ATR forecaster does is it forecasts the ATR value against the current price action of the day. So the ATR value, normally the ATR indicator is a sub-panel indicator, and it tells you the ATR is 250 ticks, or it's, $2.50 or $25 or whatever, right? Well, that's a nice number to have in the lower panel, but it doesn't really transfer visually onto the chart, and that's what the ATR forecaster does. Is it brings that number value and superimposes it on the current day's action. Let's take a look. The ATR right now, I'm going to draw a ruler here. The actual ATR is right now roughly from this green red to the green is about 269 ticks in the Russell. 269 ticks in the Russell. And that's a daily ATR, right? So every day the Russell on average is moving 269 ticks, let's say. So that is imposed between these two levels. So if you were to run the ATR on a daily chart, it would show 269. And we're now plotting that value on a 5-minute chart. So how do we do that? Well, we know that the ATR today is 269 ticks. And what we do is we take the middle value of the price, so the mid price of today's range, and we're always centering 269 ticks on that mid price. And what that does for us is it tells us if we ever hit this red line or the green line, that means that we have hit the average ATR for the day. We haven't on today. It's been kind of a sleepy day here on Tuesday. So we haven't hit the green level or the red level yet. This price has not hit these levels. So we're inside of the 269 tick ATR. Matter of fact, what is our range today? Our range is from this low price roughly up to this high price. So the range right now is only 189 ticks. I don't think we've exceeded that. Yeah. Okay. So we're doing 189 ticks, but the average range is 269. However, yesterday was a pretty significant mover here. We exceeded the ATR. And the ATR here for this day was from here up to here, which is roughly 255 ticks was the ATR on this day, at the beginning of this day. We went way above that. So our range yesterday just kept on floating. Our range, let's go all the way from here, all the way down, right, to here. So the range yesterday was 541 tick day against an average of 255 ticks, okay? Now, the cool part about this indicator is that we know when we hit this green level or the red level, in this case we hit the green level, that meant that our range had hit the ATR, the average ATR. Again, going from this level down to the low of the day is 250 ticks, so give or take a few that I didn't just quite hit, right? So 250 it was our range, 250, 255, something like that. So we hit our high and low. When we went above this range now, when we went above this green line, that tells me we are in overbought territory, right? We've exceeded the normal movement of this market, the average movement of this market, the average range of the day. And what the indicator will do, it will start printing these parabolic SAR dots, telling us that we're above the range. And that might be a good chance to sell. We're looking for a reversion back to this no man's land. The gray area is kind of like the middle quarter of the range. And yesterday just kept on floating and floating and floating. So we didn't actually see a reversal. let's see what happened on the prior day. So here is Friday. So Friday we also exceeded the high of that day, and it kept on going up. We get our parabolic SAR dots, keep printing, and we're looking for a reversal back. So we're overbought. We're basically outside of the range. It's a big day on Friday, and this could have been a good chance to sell. This one could have been a good chance to sell, and definitely paid off. We were actually reverted, right to that area at the close of the day here at 16, $1,700. So we did get back. So that's the premise of the indicator, is it shows you on a day-by-day basis the current price action against the average price action. Here's another example. So our ATR is from this green level down to this red level, and going all the way down. We had a big day moving. This must have been Thursday. We hit this buy level, and it did come back. So this is a good little tool to show us when we are overbought or oversold in relation to the average true range. Now, this setting is one of two settings. These are called fixed levels. So all the way back here at the beginning of the day at midnight, this is the daily range for this instrument, right? From here to here is the daily range. It's not a developing level. It doesn't show us, well, what was the range on the first hour of the day, and what was the range on the second hour of the day. Going halfway into the day, what's the average range going into that time? So by noon here, right, from midnight till noon, which is right here, what is the average range? Well, it's going to be less than the full day's range. And this indicator can print that. So let's switch over and take a look at the developing levels. And you're going to see kind of an expansion of these upper and lower levels. So I'm going to go open the indicator, click on the developing levels, and now we're basically breaking that down into a very small range here because we're so close to midnight. There really isn't much range from midnight until 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So on average, this is the range. From midnight to that time period, from midnight to this time period, this is the range. From midnight to this time period, this is the range here. So what it does show you, though, is if you zoom in, let's zoom in on this kind of early morning hours in the Europe session. What it shows you is that when we've exceeded this, when we hit these red dots, we have hit the ATR for that part of the day. So from midnight to let's say right here, let's say if we hit it right here, midnight to 3:45 in the morning, the average range for that 3 3/4 hours is from this red dot up to this green dot up there. So the average range for those 3 3/4 hours is 51 ticks. Okay, and as the day progresses, and throughout history, the last 22 days on this chart, that average range expands because from midnight till 7 in the morning, we usually have a bigger day by then. More price has accumulated, more action has occurred, so the price has expanded. Now the ATR, from here up to above our chart actually, the average range for this 104 ticks from 7 o'clock. So from midnight to 7 o'clock, this is the average range of the day. So it's a partial ATR. Think of it that way. This is the 7 o'clock ATR from here to here. This is developing as time progresses throughout the day. Again, we hit that level right in this area. So at this point, we had a range that equaled the typical range of that session, of that period. Let's go down here. Again, now once we're outside of this lime green line, we start printing the buy dots and the parabolic SAR. That might have been a good little scalp. We retrace back into the gray area, which is this mid band of the ATR indicator. So we retrace back there. We got another push down. Parabolic SAR dots come in, start printing again, and we saw a good retracement through here. Again, the next day, again, the ATR for these early morning hours is pretty light. From midnight until 1 o'clock in the morning, that's the ATR. That's the average range for that hour. From midnight till 3 in the morning, from here to here, the average range is from here to here. At about 3 in the morning on this day, we started exceeding our average range for that period. And you'll notice that near the end of the day, like this is the end of the day, those levels, we finally achieve the full day ATR, and that is when things stabilize. They stabilize because they might expand a little bit as we get closer to the end of the day, and right at the end of the day here is going to be our ATR value. So the full day ATR. So think of it as a partial ATR. So this could be a little bit useful, right? If we see, if we want to know, okay, what's the ATR at 3:30 in the morning in the European session, this is the average traversal of that instrument by that time of the day. And we can do some kind of interim, intraday overbought, oversold levels, and then trade it from there. So let's take a look now at some of the parameters for the indicator. Let's see how we can make some changes. Obviously, all these are plots, so you can colorize them as you wish. There's a 14 period, so that's the day ATR. So this ATR value is based on 14 days. This reduction multiplier is how we draw the lime green level and the magenta level. If you were to let's go 50%. Okay, let's make it a very large reduction. So it's going to reduce that height. It's going to bring this pink line down and the green line up. And let's go ahead, hit OK. And now we're reducing it by 50%. So this range from here up to here is half, 50% of the full range. And this is an interesting idea. Once we hit these red dots, we retrace, we break through here. Now this is basically 25% of the range from the red dots to the green line. This is 25% from the green dots to the magenta line. And this between the two solid lines is now 50%. So we're basically doing a 25% reversal on an ATR basis, and that could be a good buy signal for that market. You would trade into the mid-band. The mid-band is typically where it's directionless. We don't really have a conviction. We're not overbought or oversold, and that's one of the reasons why I plotted that mid-band. I don't necessarily buy in the mid area or sell. I might look forward to move above the mid-band for longs, look below the mid-band for shorts, and something to think about. It's trending. I look at it as trending above the mid-band. It's going to exhaust itself when we hit these the upper levels. It's going to exhaust itself, and that's one way to look at it. Let's take a look at the other parameters here. What we've got is, so the reduction multiplier, that's something you can tweak. Let's go ahead and make that larger. So if it's going to be very close to the, now it's very close to the actual ATR. So you can kind of get it out of the way if you want. You can do, set that number to 1, 1.0, and it'll be right on those green and red dots. I wouldn't use that. I was doing some testing, risk-reward multiplier. It actually does, internally, it does some kind of theoretical trades. So you can ignore that. It actually does not print anything, so it's not really a functional parameter right now. Developing levels, we went over that versus the static. So if you turn off developing levels, it goes to the static number. You do have an option of resetting it either on the new session or at midnight. So right now this is set to the new session, and sessions are defined in your trading hours template. I'm using a default 24/5. That's why the start of the day is also the new session. So let's see. And that's about it. That's about it. I mean, you can change your colors. The ATR average upper is the, you can see it's either a solid magenta line or a solid lime colored line, and that's what these lines are. Solid magenta or pink, it might be pink, and then solid lime. The midline, if you want to turn that on, that's in the middle here. 1/3 and 2/3, really those are these the red dots and the green dots. I call them 1/3, 2/3. You probably out of date verbiage, but daily high and daily bottom is the actual dots. So that is the average daily high, which is this green, and the average daily bottom low, which is the red. You can ignore the location percent. That's internal to the indicator, it's not used. And then the buy break and the sell break, those are the parabolic SAR dots that you can change colors on. So if you want to turn them off, you can just set these to transparent. And that's about it for the indicator. One thing you can do, let's say you wanted to start at a specific time. Let's say you wanted to start at the session open of the regular trading hours. You'd have to do that through your trading hours template. Right now I'm on default 24/7. If I go down here and switch to equities regular trading hours, again I've got 20 days in here. So the ATR will start right at 9:30. The ATR forecaster will start at 9:30. Let's move back. So this is 9:30 right here. Right there from 1600 hours, and then 9:30 is the next bar. That's when this indicator reset. Let's see here. And so it uses the information on the chart. It uses the price bars on the chart. Again, we did a 9:30 right at that bar. So right here was the reset of the indicator, and that's when we started doing more developing levels. All right, so I went over most of it. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Happy to help. Thanks again, and look forward to hearing from you.